Hey guys, it's PC Vibes here. Just wanted to mention that I'm working on a PC building project, and well, as of right now, it is complete, well, underway. Well, the easier way to put it is I built it. It's in functional working order. I can play games on it, but it definitely needs upgrades soon. So I just wanted to talk about a lot of the parts I picked and why I picked them, and what my plans are for the future of this build. I'm gonna leave some CS:GO just playing in the background. It's me playing horribly for the first time in like 3 months after not playing it. Um, all right, so I'm gonna start with the motherboard, or actually, I'm gonna start with the actual case itself. All right, so the case is a NZXT 510i. I got the non-RGB version of it. I didn't think I needed the RGB version for my specific application, though looking at it now, I think I probably should have gone with the RGB. So just as a, it's better to have it than not to have it kind of scenario, just giving you some advice. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the parts that are inside of it now. So I'm going to start first with the motherboard itself. So I'm running an Aurorus X570 um, Elite Wi-Fi motherboard. It's the as far as I know, it's like the I don't I don't pay much attention when it comes to motherboards. I just know that this motherboard specifically works with the combination of parts I was going to go into, and leaves a lot of room for upgradability when it comes to like if I wanted to eventually upgrade to, like, let's say the Ryzen 9 5950X or whatever. It can take it. It's an AM4 chipset. It can totally handle all the power I can throw at it. It's good up to, I believe, 128 DDR4 um 128 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. um I mean, like, I didn't like, to be completely honest, the reason I got the motherboard was because I got an amazing deal on it. But so I'm just gonna say right off the bat, this build is currently worth about $1,500. I went into the build only hoping for, to spend probably about $1,200 on it. Um, well, let's just get into some parts. All right, so you already know the motherboard. I'm going to jump straight to the CPU. So keep in mind, I understand this is not a high or elite CPU per se, but I'm running the Ryzen 5 3600X, or sorry, just the base model, not the X model. And I have an overclock on it of, I believe, because it runs at I'm running mine currently at 3.8 gigahertz, but it boost clocks up to 4. Um, I've heard that the 3600X can boost clock up to 4.2. I know that this CPU can handle it, but my AIO gets really loud when, like, the fans. Or sorry, I'm giving away other parts of the computer, but my water cooler basically gets really loud if I push it that high, because the temps just rocket up really really fast. So I'm running the 3600X, sorry, the 3600 Ryzen 5 3600 at a pretty stable, or it is stable, 3.4 gigahertz, and or sorry, 3.8 gigahertz. I don't know what I'm saying. And then for RAM, I'm running Ballistic X. Hold on, Ballistic X. Um, Crucial Ballistic Gaming Memory, 16 gigabyte kit. I have two 16 megabyte gigabyte kits, so I'm actually currently running 32 gigabytes of DDR4, 3200 megahertz RAM, and the RGB on these guys are awesome. I would definitely suggest going with the max RGB if you're willing to stretch your budget just a tiny bit. I think there's only about a $20 difference on Amazon. And all the prices that I'm talking about are Canadian dollars, how much I spent Canadian dollars. And my budget is based on Canadian dollar prices and what the products that I bought costed at the time of the you know March mid March 2021. And then for graphics, I have the MSI 1615 Gaming X edition, and I got to be completely honest, I did not expect anything out of this card, and holy cow, it actually it actually exceeded my expectations. Like I had really low expectations for this card. Like, it was just what I could afford. It was the only thing that was available, and it was just something other than the stock peripherals. And to be completely honest, I was blown away. And it handled on MSI Afterburner a memory clock boost of plus 670, if you know what that is on MSI Afterburner. And then for core clock, I'm running the auto overclock function on MSI Afterburner, I believe. It's just on curve mode right now, so it adjusts according to how much power draw is happening, what's being run on the computer. Um, I mean, what else is there? I'm running an MVM. I'm running a 970 Evo Plus from what should I call it? By from Samsung. It's the NVMe M.2 drive. Like super fast, like loading into Windows. From the minute I hit my power button to the minute I load it into Windows, it is less than 10 seconds. Like I'm not even joking. Like I could be in my Windows past the password screen in less than 10 seconds. And for my water cooler, I'm using the Aurorus 240 AIO kit. The 240 is only because that's all I could fit in my NZXT case, the 510i. And I'm running a 750 watts. Don't get mad at me for this, but I'm running a thermal-take power supply. Not by choice, but due to affordability. It was about 100, or it was about $50 less than its competitors like EVGA and what's the other one that I competed against? Oh, who is it? Master Cooler, Cooler Master, something like that. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm drawing a blank right now. But yeah, no, and then I got it's. I think the only reason if you're willing to, like, I cable managed really well in this case, and it has all the pins that I needed plus more. If if you're running if you're gonna run a lot of like, this would be the perfect power supply for a what's the word? A server or a RAID configuration, like just a huge like memory server for storing hard drives and stuff like that and SSDs. It's got like 30 SATA connectors on the back of it. Like I was so close to just starting snipping off some SATA connectors because like I literally run one terabyte hard drive and that's it, and my M.2 drive. And I think if I upgrade my computer's memory even more, I have two more M.2 drive slots. So I'm just gonna keep throwing, 1 terabytes and 2 terabytes, and that eventually I'll upgrade my Evo Plus to a 1 terabyte one. I'll move my OS over to it and stuff like that. Um, like I don't know what else to say. I mean, I got pretty basic peripherals. I got the Razer Synoza keyboard with the awesome chroma backlighting. Um, and it's not mechanical, but I really like what they did with the oh, what's it called? The I can't remember, membrane. It feels very clicky. It's very satisfying, and it's like the closest thing to a mechanical keyboard without it being an actual mechanical keyboard. It's awesome. I actually really enjoy it, and the RGB looks awesome. Um, for my mouse, I'm just running a Logitech G502 Hero. It's the uh, corded version without the removable USB. It's the hardwired USB mouse. I love it. I'm gonna go over some of the specs of the actual case that I chose. So right off the bat, right on the top here, you got USB. 2.0, and you got a USB-C connector with DVI. What is it called? D-Link? No, not D-Link. What's it called? I'm drawing another blank, man. I'm too tired. Um, Basically, you can display your phones. You can display your phones and or tablets or MacBooks display through this connector onto your screen through the computer itself. And then it's got your basic front headphone headset connector. I just use Bluetooth because uh, I mean I don't know why you wouldn't. And then on the back from the motherboard, you got four USB 2.0s at the top, and then just below that you have the Wi-Fi antenna, and then below that you have two USB 3.0s and an HDMI output, which I don't use because I have a graphics card. And then below that, you have two USB 3.1s, and then below that, you have your LAN uh, input output, and then another USB two more USB 2.0s, and then you have your SPDIF connector and a full motherboard surround sound support, including subwoofer. What else is there? Um, the GTX or the GTX 1650 that I am currently using has two DisplayPort connections and wait, is that two DisplayPort, one HDMI. I just use HDMI. I would love to get a nice monitor that has 144 hertz or more with 1 millisecond uh, response time. Like that would be so great. Um, what else? Not much that I can think of. Yeah, I'm just using a regular Western Digital 1 terabyte drive. I don't remember which model it is. I'll have to take off the back one of these days and actually double check for you guys. But other than that, I mean, there's not much. Uh, for some advice, if you're gonna buy the NZXT 510i, I would highly suggest getting a modular power supply. This case is a full ATX but mid-tier, mid-size desktop case. So you have a big motherboard and not a lot of places to put all those spare cables. So I would suggest getting a modular power supply so you can minimize the amount of cables you have hidden in the bottom compartment on this case. And not only that, but if you're going to run a graphics card that only has one 6-pin connector, or sorry, yeah, 6-pin connector, you have to know that if you are like running a graphics card with literally only one 6-pin connector, the other one is going to be dangling inside of the case. You can't hide the other connection, especially if it's one of the daisy chain connectors. You cannot hide that secondary connector in the case. The cable is not quite long enough with that full ATX motherboard in there. It just doesn't quite stretch. Um, what else is there? I mean, I got great temps overall. CPU sits at like 32, basically under load or not. I think the highest I've ever seen it go to, which is when I accidentally left it on quiet mode, was 54. So highly suggest the Aurorus 240 AIO liquid cooler. Thing's great. Also very quiet, even on performance and or not performance. Performance is pretty loud, but on balanced mode, it's pretty quiet. I mean, I would definitely put it back on a quiet mode at night, or just turn your computer off at night. And then I would definitely suggest with this case, I would really highly suggest going with a single fan push graphics card, not for the internal multi-fan configuration, just because the case is small and there's not a lot of room for heat to move around, and if it's a pretty tight space, and I do find that the tempered glass panel on the side facing me um, does get warm right where the graphics card is, like often. My graphics card is overclocked, but it's not overclocked to like like a breaking point. Like it's very stable and it has good temperatures, so it's not like it's running. I think the highest I've ever seen my graphics card go is 62, and that was like under some serious load during benchmarking, and I actually had one of my fans backwards. So yeah, no, I would definitely suggest. I gotta finish up here because my pre-recorded video is running out. But yeah, no, I would highly suggest. Just uh, you know, um, I don't know. If you have any questions about my build, let me know. If you have any recommendations for upgrades I should make in the future, let me know as well. But just in general, I would definitely suggest, some of these parts as a, entry level, especially the motherboard. The motherboard I would definitely suggest for entry level because it leaves so much room for upgradability. Like that motherboard is future proof for quite a while, and it can support up to two GPUs with full PCI Express